Hi everyone, this is Nick from Coin and Paper, and today we're going to talk about, are credit cards good or bad? So I had a video on credit cards where I talk about an overview of credit cards and how they're used. And today we're going to get into the benefits and cons to help you make a decision or at least understand credit cards better. So there's some benefits and cons, and looking at these things will help you think on your own if credit cards are good or bad. And really, to me, at the end of this video, we're just going to find that it depends on you, because the cons, even one of them can greatly outweigh the benefits for you, and maybe looking at all the benefits can greatly outweigh the cons. So what it comes down to is your personal preference and basically your strengths, your own strengths and vulnerabilities to these items. So let's look at a couple. So when we had the video on credit cards, we said, well, a lot of people use credit cards really to help build credit. And so we said you can start off with a prepaid credit card, but there's other ways to build credit besides credit card, just for you to know. But let's say building credit. So this is a benefit, and we're going to add building, and I meant credit there, but let's say building good credit. All right, and the reason I added that is because a con is building bad credit. So if you don't use a credit card properly, then you're building bad credit. So basically, if a person doesn't pay on time, that right there, and it doesn't pay the, not only on time, but of course the minimum amount, then that's a sure way to start building bad credit. And even one missed payment could hurt your credit score, or maxing out your credit. So if you don't pay, basically every month you're carrying the maximum that you are allowed, then you're going to look like you're under financial pressure. So that's not good for your credit either. But if used properly, you pay off your debt every month, and don't max it out, so don't use the full amount that you have available to you, then you're building good credit. And basically the difference here is you can really save money on interest, because when you're building good credit, when supposedly when you apply for new loans, maybe mortgage loans, they look at your credit, and if you have a good credit rate, then, or sorry, if you have good credit history, then you get a good credit rate or interest rate, and that could really save you a lot of money in the long run. And so the same thing with bad credit, this could hurt the interest rate that you get on loans, and so if you have a bad history, then you're going to get bad rates, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. So these are basically the big benefits and cons of credit cards. Now let's stick with cons for a second. So there's a lot of thought leaders out there, or not a lot, but there are thought leaders out there who say don't get credit cards are bad. But I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you information and tell you objectively what they're all about, financial information, so you make a decision. But I want you to be empowered, responsible, and basically knowledgeable. So as far as some thought leaders, why they say credit cards are bad, I think the main reason is because debt. Okay, so a lot of Americans have a problem with debt. So basically they're in over their heads, they spend more than what they take in, and basically they're in a hole, okay? And so debt is really a big hole that people are in, and I think the average American, I looked at a statistic, I don't know when it was, but basically they're in $8,000 they have $8,000 of credit card debt. That's a lot. That's a lot, especially considering credit cards have the highest rate of interest. Maybe, well, I was going to say maybe not as high as loan sharks, illegal loans, but who knows, maybe they're the same. But credit cards could go as high as 20%, and actually they could probably go higher than 20%. And that's a lot of interest. So with that said, high interest. So both of these working against you. When you have debt, especially high debt and high interest, basically that your debt is growing against you. It's compounding. This high interest is compounding off that debt. So this makes it even harder to get out of debt. And so this right here is a big weakness for a lot of people. So I think what some of the thought leaders are thinking when they say don't use credit cards, they're saying avoidance. Avoidance is the solution for you. You know, so if you avoid credit cards, then you're going to avoid this problem, and that's probably true for a lot of people. So if it's better for you to avoid something that you may get in trouble with, by all means, then avoid it. But that is not to say that credit cards are in and of itself bad. Just like money in itself is not bad or good. It's a tool that could be used very wisely, or it could be a tool to be used very foolishly. So that's for you to decide how to use that tool. So now let's talk about other benefits and cons. So fraud protection. So this is, to me, so now we're getting to the really interesting ones here. So fraud protection is very important. And so I'm a beneficiary of this myself because last year, a few years ago on my birthday, I got a text from my credit card saying, have you used this? Call us because we have a suspicious activity. And I called. Sure enough, I didn't charge that item. I think it was in a different country as well. And right then and there, they canceled it. They canceled my credit card, so I wasn't liable for it. And then it was done. So I had to go through other things. I had to work with the credit reports or the credit agencies to freeze my account and all these things. But I was protected, and the money didn't come out of my account. So a lot of you may have credit or debit cards. The same thing could have happened with the debit card as far as fraud. But the difference is it's a lot harder to protect your money when you're using a debit card versus a credit card. So with the credit card, that's not my own money. That's not my cash. So my cash was protected. Where I've worked for a bank before, and I've seen customers who basically had to fill out affidavits and prove that they didn't spend the money in their account. So it's a lot harder to get your cash than it is to simply cancel a credit card. And so that fraud protection, to me, is a really big one. And fraud protection in the sense that it's very easy to cancel the card and say, no, I didn't pay for that, so I don't want to, I'm not paying you for this, something that I didn't spend. And credit cards, you just say, okay. So, and obviously I just said that you shouldn't abuse this this benefit or privilege. Okay. So the other thing is holds. So this is going to be a small one, but it's definitely an important one. So for banks, when you go to the gas station, if you use a debit card, a lot of the gas stations put a $50 hold, even if you spend $5 on gas. And that annoys a lot of people because if you don't only have $40 in your account, then you're probably going to get an overdraft fee, or at least if you have $50 in your account and you only spent $10, you can't use the other $40 in your own bank account because it's on hold. And so that's really inconvenient for a lot of people. So with credit cards, I think the hold sometimes is extra $1 only, just so the gas station verifies that the credit card is valid. But holds work fine with credit cards, where it's a lot more inconvenient with debit cards. The other thing is I would say the rewards. Rewards are a big one. So to me, rewards is like the opposite of high interest. The rewards, you're actually getting benefits from the credit card for using it. So a lot of credit cards have cash back, or they may have other perks like flyer miles. I think basically you can get credit towards tickets for airplanes. So there's different types of reward programs out there. So this is good usage of your credit card. In my opinion, this is how I use my credit card. So I don't pay interest. I pay off my balance in full every single month. And I try to spend as much money on my credit card. And I do have the money in my bank that I make sure that I have there before I make these expenses. And what happens is every month I pay my bill in full, and I get rewards and pay no interest at all. So this is actually income and benefits for me. So for me, I like that one. Now, some other things is price protection, and this is really interesting. So for me, credit cards are actually becoming more beneficial as far as services they offer, but again, you have to look at these, and this alone could outweigh the benefits. So that's for you to decide. I may be leaning towards credit cards, but I'm not trying to do that. So the other one here is price protection. The price protection, and this is, like I said, is interesting because I see some credit cards right now they have where if you buy something, say a TV, and in the next couple months they see that same TV that you bought, and as long as you kept the receipt and sent them a copy of the receipt, if the price of the TV goes down, they'll actually give you the difference. So you're always going to get the best price basically, and that's a really nice, interesting thing. It seems to me hard to figure out, but as long as you pick some big, expensive items and keep track of it, or at least send them the receipt, they'll do the tracking and automatically reimburse you. So that could be a nice, definitely a nice perk. The other one is return guarantee. So they'll also guarantee returns. You have to look at the fine print for these things. Extended product warranty. So this is as well, certain things you buy, you probably don't need to buy a warranty from the manufacturer. You can, or at least maybe buy the original one, but here you can get an extended one. So you'll have to look at the thing for that as well. No foreign transaction fees for some credit cards. And so basically, if you go to another country, then, and this is, I'm having a hard time spelling this word, but then you probably don't have to pay any, geez, let me stop talking and typing. No foreign transaction fees. And so this could be a good perk if you travel a lot. Other thing is travel insurance. So I know when I go to rent a car, I usually put it on my credit card, and that's because I want to make sure that I get the travel insurance for the credit card. So that means I don't have to pay for the travel insurance that the auto places offer me, the car rental place. So that's saving me money right off the bat. Some credit cards offer credit scores, and so this is a nice perk too. So here's a bunch of them, and let's see, there's probably more out there, just like going to a hotel. If you go to a hotel, they always tell you they're going to put I think it's pretty much like a hold there, and if you don't have that money in your checking account, then that's going to be a problem. But if you have a good credit limit, using your credit card should be no problem. Again, it protects your money and makes it still available for more important things. So again, here's the cons. The cons is debt. If you can really accumulate debt, a credit card can make you, it won't make you do anything, but it can tempt you to spend beyond your means. And so this is the biggest problem. I think this is why, again, so there's some thought leaders out there who say avoid it. Okay, so if this right here is a big problem for you, then by all means, go ahead and avoid it. But if you are able to control how much you spend versus, and how much you're comparable, how much you're taking in, then look at the benefits and think about it. So building credit, good credit, is one of the primary reasons people have credit cards, or at least start with credit cards, but it could also hurt you in building bad credit, and it seems like a good amount of at least Americans have a problem with these three things right here, and which again could easily outweigh the benefits. So I hope this video was at least objective and helpful, but again, my goal here is to teach, or at least and share information, objective information to make you really more knowledgeable and a smarter decision maker. So, but you have to make the decision, and if you all have any questions or comments on credit cards, I'd be interested to hear it. Thank you.